Mentor. Who do you think of? Chances are they have something you need. Not materially, but they can offer you something in a way that no one else can, often at a time when you need them most. I've had many mentors, some I've met and some I haven't, but their actions have inspired me to think bigger and be better and create more. You may know them: Oprah, Jim Rohn, Maya Angelou, my parents, and Yoda, because the Force is definitely with me. But there has been one special, unexpected mentor that ultimately changed the course of my life. That mentor has 4 legs, and her name is Cotton. In 2005, I began a successful career in real estate in Houston, Texas. But after a few years, houses became more difficult to sell and money definitely became more difficult to keep. Overwhelmed by the market crash, I fell into this depression and hopelessness that seemed to swallow me whole. But in a moment of clarity, motivated by pain, I found the courage to ask for help. But even as I was getting back on my feet, I still felt lost, misdirected, and often thought, is this all there is? I was working at a law firm, bored and unhappy, and one day a woman brought a box of puppies to the office. They were tiny, emaciated, and covered in fleas. I picked up the one with the black patch on her eye, and I decided she was mine. I took her straight to the vet, where they told me that she may not make it. But with lots of love and care, she survived. And I realized when I looked at her that I would survive too. As Cotton grew, I watched her behaviors very closely. And in a very simple way, those behaviors started to teach me exactly what I needed to know. When I found power in the words, "I don't know," it was where the real learning could begin. Let me share with you 5 lessons that I learned from my mentor, Cotton. Number 1, see it. One night I was out walking Cotton. It was really dark and probably too late at night. And we were walking along, and suddenly she stopped. She crouched down and she started to growl under her breath. I was petrified and felt confident it was a murderer. So I tugged on her leash to get her the heck out of there, and not 5 steps later did I almost step on a snake. Okay, maybe it was an armadillo or possibly just an adorable black cat. I'm not really sure, and that's not the point. The point is that Cotton could see something there that I couldn't see. It wasn't too long after that night that I had decided to start my business. I told everyone about my idea, and I did not get the reaction that I expected. Some people discouraged me from even trying. Some people laughed, and some people told me it was just flat out stupid. See, because of Cotton, I had decided to make dog treats for a living. I started out selling them for 50 cents a piece at farmers markets, making about $20 every Saturday. I was really raking that in. But I still knew that Cotton's Cafe would be way more than dog treats. Not only would they be good enough for us to eat, but they would also support local farmers. It would give jobs to good people that had made some bad choices. And hopefully, it would allow me to help other entrepreneurs. Just like Cotton seeing that snake-like armadillo with the cat tail, I didn't need others to see it for my dream to be there. You know, I've heard it said, there are those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who don't know what happened. And I could see it so clearly, I was going to make Cotton's Cafe happen. Number 2, catch it. Cotton loves to go to the dog park, and she loves to play Frisbee. And when I throw it for her, she plans to catch it every single time. But her average is a bit like Babe Ruth. She strikes out as often as she gets the home run. But I promise you, when she misses, she doesn't look at the ground and think it's the only Frisbee that will ever be thrown her way again. She doesn't roll around in self-doubt and wonder if she could have done it better. And she doesn't look around at the other dogs in the park to see what they thought of her performance. She simply picks up the Frisbee, brings it back, and looks for the next opportunity. I recently made a deal with a national retailer to put our treats in 1,700 stores. I was ecstatic. I told everyone about the deal, and I even walked around in a hat with their company logo on it. I was committed to it. But right before the order was placed, they told me that they had decided to go in a different direction. I don't know if anyone else has ever heard those words before, but I was devastated. Not only had I made a significant financial investment, but I was embarrassed and disappointed. It felt like a really good time to quit and just hang it all up. But then I thought of cotton, and I knew I needed to get ready for the next opportunity. So I shrugged my shoulders and I got back in the game. I knew if I continued to go for it over and over again, I would eventually succeed. Number 3, dig it. Okay, I will have you know that Cotton is a very avid hole digger, and she does it with passion. And it's all because of a certain resident mole that decided to make our backyard home. So the weekly routine was Cotton digs hole, Janet fills hole, and the mole stays on patrol, and repeat. So this went on for a while until one day Cotton actually caught the mole. So after a lot of begging and bribing, I convinced her to drop the mole in my hand. And that mole returned the favor by biting me on the hand, which was quickly followed by an ER visit and a tetanus shot. But one day I got smart. I decided instead of simply filling the holes, I would plant something in each one. This resulted in no more mole, less holes, and a lovely dog-designed landscape by my dog Cotton. You know, some of the most inspirational people I know are magnets for success. And what they all seem to have in common, just like Cotton, is perpetual passion. Well, that wasn't really my experience. In the beginning of creating Cotton's Cafe, I had passion, enthusiasm, determination, motivation. It was great. But as time went on, the problems kept presenting themselves, and the obstacles just seemed insurmountable. And I began to lose my passion. And I comfortably rested, hiding in between fear of failure and even fear of success. And suddenly, I had developed the disease of complacency. But the only way to change was to remember that I needed to find my mole. I needed to catch my mole. And what that looked like for me was remembering all the people I was helping, and more importantly, remember all the people that were willing to help me. It was only then that I could see that there was a greater purpose to all that we were doing. So then I could dig in, take some action, and remember that passion. Number 4, okay, curl it. Please don't make fun of me, but I am a doggy cam owner, all right? I've got issues. But anyway, I love to keep an eye on my dog when I'm working or traveling. And 9 times out of 10, she's just curled up in a 70-pound donut, asleep on her favorite chair. But occasionally, I will catch her running in her sleep, and she's just pawing at the air. 9 times out of 10, she's probably chasing squirrels or frisbees or even her brother Coconut. But what's clear to me is that she knows when to rest, and she makes it a priority in her day. For me, I can often become overwhelmed by the demands on my time. This results in an emotional implosion or worse, explosion affecting everyone around me. And then I'm stuck with a perspective problem. But I've heard it said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. In order to do this, for me, often that meant I had to get some rest, get grateful, and get centered. When I did that, I knew that I needed the rest and the world would seem like a better place. Number 5, lick it. Okay, I probably need to explain this one a little bit. But one day I was outside. It was a beautiful day, warm and sunny. And I was trying to meditate and feel that calm in the midst of the storm. But rather than feeling calm, I felt overwhelmed by fear of the future and regrets of the past. And tears started to stream down my face. From 20 yards away, Cotton could see that I was upset. She came running at me full speed. She lifted her eyes to mine, and she began to lick the tears off my face. I was astonished at her level of compassion. And then I began to wonder, if compassion were a natural instinct for my dog, was it also a natural instinct for me? Had it been buried by mistakes, regrets, and lack of trust? The answer was yes. I hate to admit this, but compassion had become almost non-existent in my world. But in order to change, I had to learn to be compassionate with myself first. And that included letting the tears flow, making room for forgiveness, moving from the feeling of undeserving to deserving the best, and to get into acceptance of my perfect imperfection, and get grateful for the woman I was becoming. It was only then that I could offer this to other people. What if compassion were the lens that we looked through to see the other people in our lives? Now, I'm not saying we should lick each other on the face every day, but what I am saying is if we pay close attention to how others feel and try to see where they are coming from, we could very easily develop a culture of compassion. So rather than leading with stress, worry, anxiety that seem all too common in our world today, what if we led with a hug, a smile, or even a kind word? I believe if we do these little things, we could change our world in a big way. I remember the day that I took Cotton home. She was tiny. She weighed 1 pound. I had never owned a dog by myself before, so I was scared to even hold her. So I had her wrapped in this big towel, and I kept her close to my chest. I didn't know what to do, so I just began to talk to her. I don't remember everything I said that day, but I do remember saying thank you. Thank you because I could feel my heart begin to beat again. Thank you because I knew she was going to save me from this broken life and broken heart. But most of all, I remember saying thank you because I felt hope. You know, a mentor can come in many shapes and forms. Mine just happens to be a dog. Now, I don't expect you to go home and stare at your dog until they do something inspiring. But what I do hope is that you keep an open mind. Stay open to unlikely mentors that can change your life. I hope what I learned from Cotton will inspire you to see all the opportunities around you and catch them. I hope you dig in with your passion and you curl up and rest when you need to. But most importantly, I hope that you lead with compassion. Be kind, be gentle, be loving. When we realize these natural instincts are who we really are, our success in life is guaranteed. Thank you.